And Keith, you were mentioning earlier today we had a lot of areas where we were dealing with mist, something the radar doesn't quite pick up.
Yeah, and there's a cartoon to be written here. I walked out the door today for lunch and I was like, oh, didn't realize it was missing, because it doesn't show up on radar, so that it's a tough one. Like, people have to legitimately write in and tell me, which they actually did after I mentioned that. So help me help you. Most of the stuff we can see, we call it remote sensing, satellites and radar, but sometimes you can't see that kind of stuff. A lot of cloud, you can see that anywhere across the state. A little bit of fog this morning, we were able to burn it off in a lot of spots. But the low level moisture persisted in the clouds and some of the mist that we saw and are still seeing in a few spots. So the radar is picking up on the showers that are farther away from the radar beam itself. Remember, it's located in gray, the radar, at least for southern Maine. And a couple of showers in New Hampshire too, but most of us aren't seeing much rain. But man, it's pretty cool for this time of the year. I mean, 60s most of the day, 67 in Portland, so the air temp is a little bit cooler than the water temperature, which is not a common thing here. 70 in Bangor, 65 in Greenville. The dew points are relatively elevated, and so that gives you a kind of a floor for overnight lows. Typically, when you see these dew points, you're not going to drop them too much overnight, which means the temperature can't really get below this tonight. So we'll be in the low to mid 60s overnight, not really changing much from what we had right now. In fact, you can see that model tick this up a degree or two by about midnight. Cloudy, little mist still, some showers possible over down East Maine, but tomorrow's an active weather day. We've got a front approaching, but there's some prefrontal stuff, and one is a round of showers and thunderstorms mid to late morning. Then another one comes through in the middle of the day, and we'll watch if there's a third round. The models disagree on that a bit because dry air is going to start getting sucked in, which tends to inhibit thunderstorm growth and development. Western Maine, New Hampshire, southern Maine, best chance of strong to severe storms. Mid-coast, though, could see a couple of strong ones as well. This whole front moves out in time for the weekend, which, as we've discussed, looks pretty good. So Storm Prediction Center has placed us in a relatively low-level risk, but that's kind of where we live at. In the Northeast, you really don't see us. Sometimes we'll get into the yellow 2 zone, but almost never 3 or 4. And so there is a risk over southern Maine and kind of a non-zero chance of an isolated tornado, too. There's a little shear or spin in the atmosphere down here that we have to keep an eye on through the middle of the day. We'll do that. We'll watch those storms for you, obviously, and let you know if anything looks too nasty out there. Once that front moves through, we do have a decent weekend. I pointed out several times already, but just to reiterate, it's going to be pretty breezy and a bit coolish to start the day on Saturday. So Saturday, to me, doesn't feel like a beach day. I mean, if you get kids, maybe. But in general, I don't think it is. I think it's more go outside, hike kind of day. It's not going to be all that warm. Sunday looks a little bit better in that regard, as does Monday if you happen to have it off. We've got a couple of good days coming through. Temperature-wise, though, there's just nothing here. It's just not that warm. And it can happen, but it gets harder. Like I usually look at the second week of September as really when we kind of shut it down. So we're not there yet, but we're looking weeks at a time in advance. We're not seeing anything too warm, but a lot of Mainers are going to like next week because it looks like we avoid most rain, and temperatures are about mid 70s. So I mean, actually it's a lot like the week you had off, Zach, where it was like we had a week like that. It was just kind of pretty nice, not hot, but mid 70s, not a whole lot of rain. We'll watch those storms tomorrow, guys. It's just one of those. Watch the radar and see what we got.
Sounds good. Thanks, Keith.